essentially the same thing as crisscross applesauce. Let's bring some mindfulness into it. Might sound a little uncomfortable at first, but go ahead and take your hands to your tushy and roll the flesh out so that you're right on your sits bones. This allows for a more grounding feeling. From there, you can either have your palms facing up to receive on your knees or down if you'd like to retain your energy this morning or afternoon, depending on your time zone. Let's bring some engagement to our core, and in doing so, you automatically lift up through the chest, and let's roll our shoulders back. Tuck your chin to your chest, and if you feel comfortable with it, close your eyes. Let's go ahead and come into our breath a bit. As always, we'll start with 3 big sighing breaths. Let's take an inhale through the belly. Exhale out through the mouth. Feeling the shoulders settle, body relaxing. 2 more. Inhale. Let it go. Not being afraid to make some noise. Last one. Inhale. And we'll hold for 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Maybe taking a little shoulder shake, a head nod or shake, and then just bringing it back to stillness. Similar to that sighing breath, we'll come into our Ujjayi. Ujjayi will be our foundational breath for this practice, and I recommend that you stick with it the best that you can. If you're unaware of how to do it, it's essentially like you're fogging a mirror, but with your mouth closed. Take an inhale. Sigh, lips sealed. You'll feel a slight constriction at the back of your throat, and it does make a bit of a noise, almost like ocean waves crashing on the shore. Remembering to breathe in through the belly, allowing that expansion to rise up into the chest with a slight pause, and then the air falls from the chest back down into the belly with that strong Ujjayi. Letting go of your week, your day, your morning, all of the above, and just coming into the present moment. And then we'll start with some movement. So, very simple to start. As you inhale, reach your arms up nice and tall. Little pause, and then exhale the palms right back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Fingertips all the way down to the tailbone, and then float it back down. Last one, inhale, reach up. And this one will be just a little bit different. So as you meet with your exhale, take your right hand down and start to reach your left arm overhead. Make sure that all the while your left hip stays rooted. This is option 1. Option 2, maybe you walk the right hand further out to the right if that feels good. And if it's accessible to you this morning, which I know it's not for me, maybe you take that elbow down. If you find that the left hip pops up, you went a little bit too far. So let's just breathe through this. If it's uncomfortable for your neck to gaze up towards your ceiling, you can take the gaze down to the palm instead. 1 more big breath, sending it to the left side body. Nice big inhale through the belly. Exhale, gaze down to the right palm if you haven't already. And then your next inhale, left arm pulls you up. You'll take both hands down. Let's inhale the right arm up once you're ready to do so. And then just walking the left hand over just a tad and reaching the right arm overhead. Maybe you turn your chest open to the ceiling if that feels good, all the while rooting that right hip down, just as we did for the other side. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, take the left hand further out to the left. And then the final option, if it's accessible to you and it feels good, maybe you take that elbow down. If the elbow doesn't go all the way down, that's okay. Maybe you just take a little baby bend. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Last one, big inhale. Exhale, gaze down, left palm. Inhale, right arm pulls you up. We'll take both sets of fingers down towards the mat. We're going to take a little shoulder shake. So just going side to side, stopping it at the hips and keeping the head still. Let's take 2 breaths here, just warming up the spine a little bit. And this last one will be a sigh if that feels good. Inhale, out through the mouth. Let's bring that to a pause, taking your time to do so. And from there, take your hands to your shins. Let's scoot our heels a little bit closer towards our glutes, and then walk your hands out in front of you. We're going to really dig our finger pads into the mat out in front of us, rolling our shoulders back. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, flatten through the palms and tuck your chin to your chest. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to the finger pads, gazing out in front of you. Exhale, palms down, chin to chest. Maybe walking a little bit further. Last one. Inhale to the finger pads, rolling those shoulders back. Exhale, flatten the palms, chin to chest. Let's take an extra breath here, feeling as though you're pressing the mat away from you. Beautiful. From there, gaze out in front of you. You can have those finger pads digging once again, and then try to kiss your belly button to the spine, engaging your core. Fun little transition here. Just try to pull yourself onto your knees. From there, flatten through your palms, uncross the feet, bring your big toes to touch, your knees about the width of the mat, set the tailbone down and back, and reach your arms forward for Balasana, Child's Pose. If you find that having your knees about the width of the mat is a little much for your hips to start, feel free to take them just a little bit closer together. Inching the shoulders away from the ears, and if you haven't already, settling your forehead down to the mat. Breathing through the belly, and slowly opening up through your upper back and your hips. So Child's Pose will be one of our foundational poses for today, and since we are doing a power yoga type of flow, whenever you feel as though you need a Child's Pose break, please feel free to take one. All right, so we're going to start to bring some strength into our upper back here for a moment. Just as we did before with the finger pads, let's inhale high to the finger pads, lifting the palms and kind of cradling the head between the arms. Exhale, palms down, settling. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale high to the finger pads, strengthening our wrists. Exhale, bring it right back down. Last one, inhale high to the finger pads. Exhale, back down. Let's pay attention to our palms for a moment. You're going to use the L's of your hands a lot today. This is the space between the index and thumb. Start to apply lots of pressure there, and then feel it radiate out into the finger pads. This is option 1. Option 2 is what I like to call shark. To get there, you bend into the elbows, taking the palms together, and then the base of the wrist comes to the back of the head. If you don't quite feel it in your triceps, the backs of your arms, maybe you take the elbows 1 step further forward. Some people really like this option, some people really don't. So if you're in the don't realm, maybe you put the palms back down. From there, we'll start to cultivate an intention for our practice, maybe even a sankalpa. This is an I am or I have statement that sounds as though it's already true. A couple favorites of mine are I have immense joy in my life, or I am worthy of good things. One that I've been using a lot is I am willing to be patient with myself in transition. Just read what your body needs, figure it out, and then just think of a simple statement that seems to fit whatever you're feeling there. Just a little bit of something that you can achieve by the end of this hour. We really want to speak our truth here, our satya. So try not to do anything too extreme. We'll be here for 2 more breaths, sticking with that ujjayi, or if you feel as though you have a decent amount of stale energy in the body, maybe you take some big sighs. Okay. As you're ready, on your next inhale, we're going to come up to tabletop position. The hands come beneath the shoulders and the knees come under the hips. I always emphasize not taking yourself too seriously, so give your tailbone a little wag. Personally, my hips always pop here. Maybe yours won't, maybe they will. Let's bring that to a pause, and to bring even more fun energy into the room, give your tops of the feet a little tap, and then let that go as well. Bringing a little smile to the face, we're going to start to build up some heat after warming up our spine a bit more. Moving into some cat-cows. As you inhale, tuck your toes, drop your belly, and lift your gaze, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale for cat. Tops of feet down, pushing the mat away as you round through the spine. We'll take 2 more rounds. Inhale, tuck the toes, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Wrists are pulling towards the knees here. Be gentle. Exhale, release, round and curl, pressing away. Last one. Inhale, tuck the toes, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Moving at the pace of your breath here. Then exhale, release, round and curl for cat. Becoming nice and big through the upper back, and then settling it back to neutral. From there, we're going to do a bit of work on our cores. So, my recommendation is to first really press down firmly through the top of your left foot, and then once you're ready, send the right leg directly back behind you. You may find that there's more weight coming into the left hand, so just try to even it out. Your right toes are facing down towards the mat, and your foot is pressing against what would be a back wall. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to start to reach your left arm forward. We're here for 2. Inhale. Exhale. Just one more. Beautiful. Option 2 is to stay here. Option 3 are some funky crunches. Big inhale. Exhale, left elbow to right knee, tucking the chin to the chest. We'll do 2 more rounds. Inhale, reach forward, back, feeling nice and long. Exhale, crunch everything in, nice and tight. Last one, inhale, forward, back. Last one's a little bit different. Exhale, crunch in nice and tight. Maybe wrapping your left hand around the knee and hugging it in a little bit tighter. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Inhale, reach forward, back. And then on our next exhale, we all take the left hand down, right knee down, and give it a little shake. Maybe feeling a difference between your left and right wrists. Or maybe you're starting to feel a little bit of heat build up in the body. Let's bring that to a pause and take to the other side. Press the top of your right foot down and then start to reach your left leg back. Flexing the foot against the back wall and evening out the weight in both hands. This is option 1. Option 2, start to reach that right arm forward. Thumb facing up. 2 breaths here for everyone. One more big one, you got it. Beautiful. 3 rounds of round 3 if you're feeling up for it. Big inhale. Exhale, round and curl, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach forward, back. Exhale, crunch it in. Last one, inhale, forward, back. Exhale, crunch it in. Maybe you wrap that right hand around the left knee. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach forward, back, and then we all take our right hand down, left knee down, with a nice little shake. Alrighty. So, bringing that to a pause, we'll meet with our very first down dog. Let's take our hands half a print forward so that they're slightly in front of the shoulders. From there, tuck your toes. Slightly lift the bent knees and hover here for a moment, floating table. Big inhale. As you meet with your exhale, drop your head and take your chest towards your bent knees. Gaze comes between the feet. This is turbo dog. An absolutely lovely variation if you're not feeling the whole hamstring thing with your down dogs today. Remembering the cue that I gave before of the L's of your hands, the space between the index and thumb. Being sure to apply pressure there, and then allowing it to radiate out into the finger pads in efforts to protect our wrists here. Let's shake our head yes. Shake our head no. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, nice big inhale through the belly. And as you meet with your exhale, you'll reach back into both heels. From there, we'll wave out the hamstrings. Inhale high to the toes. Exhale back into the heels the best you can. Don't push yourself too far. Inhale high to the toes. Exhale back into the heels. Still pressing the chest towards the thighs. Last one. Inhale high to the toes. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale it right back for another 3, 2, 1. Remembering that child's pose is always available to you and reminding yourself of your intention and breath as well. Option 1, child's pose. Option 2, stillness here in turbo or full downward facing dog. Option 3 is a little plank play. So As you meet with your next inhale, you're going to come into a high plank. Your heels are reaching back towards your toes, your tushy is tucked, and your shoulders are right over the palms. Take a breath. Big inhale. Exhale back to downward facing dog. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to high plank, adjusting as needed, staying still, and then exhaling back to down dog. Last one, inhale high plank. If you have a chaturanga in your practice and you're feeling ready, take it. Otherwise, chill for 3, 2, 1. Big inhale through the belly. Exhale, ujjayi, or maybe a sigh, right back to downward facing dog. From there, we're here for 3. Really feeling the tapas, or heat, building up in your body. Maybe you're opting for stillness, or maybe you're paddling out the feet, taking one heel down as you bend the opposite knee. Completely up to you. This is your practice, so if you really like something I'm saying, go for it. If you really don't like something I'm saying, don't go for it. And if there's something your body's really needing, go for that instead. Nice big inhale. Let's sigh out together as a team, letting go of that heat. Beautiful. Let's inhale high to the toes. Exhale, bend your knees and gaze forward. Baby steps. Allow your feet to meet the hands at the front of the mat. Let's keep our feet out hip distance, which is the equivalent to 2 fists between the feet. From there, nice little bend here, setting the tailbone back, and your chest is coming nice and close to the thighs. Drop your head. Option 1, just finger pads to the mat, straight chillin'. Option 2, however, is to take your hands to the opposite elbows. Our final option from there is to take a little baby sway. Maybe feeling a bit of a release through your lumbar spine, your lower back, and being sure to maintain the weight mainly in your heels rather than your toes. You may find that the toes are even floating up off of the mat. If you opted for the sway, allow it to become more and more subtle until you eventually meet back with a pause. Nice big breath, maybe it's a sigh, inhale. Let it go. Bring your hands to your hips, setting the tailbone back, bringing the weight into the heels. Your head will be the last thing to lift. Inhale, flat back, all the way up to standing. Take all the time you need. And once you're there, let's take a little windmill. Hands out to your sides and just flap them right around. You can go as fast or as gentle as you'd like. We're about to speed it up, so catch your breath if you had lost it. And knowing that you can always go at your speed. Let's settle that back down and give ourselves a little shake because we don't take ourselves too seriously. Let's step to the very front of our mat. Some people like to have their feet right underneath their hips. Me personally, I like to have my feet together. It's really whatever is best for you. Alrighty, we're starting with our Surya Namaskar A's, sun salutations. Inhale, reach your arms up nice and tall. Exhale, hands out to the sides, flat back, meet with your forward fold. Gaze to the belly button, take a breath, Uttanasana. As you meet with your next inhale, bring the hands to the shins, lifting halfway, gazing out in front of you. Palms down, keep that gaze out in front of you, and then just gently step your feet back to high plank. I would recommend to take your knees down. If you find that whatever we're doing, you can have your knees up, feel free to take them there. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder taps here to strengthen our upper body. Take your right hand to your left shoulder, then down. Left to right, down. 2 more for each side. Last round, nice, slow and controlled, keeping your core tight. Beautiful. From there, we meet with our first chaturanga. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, take your chest forward slightly, bending the elbows back and not letting them surpass the torso. Nice and slow, tops of feet down, press up to cobra, keeping the elbows bent to warm up the back. Exhale, chest down, still squeezing those elbows in. Inhale, press it up just a little bit higher if that feels good. Exhale, take the chest down one last time. And then maybe this time you press all the way up to upward facing dog, feeling those hips lift and the tops of your feet pressing into the mat. Tuck your toes. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. You have free range here for 3 breaths. Maybe it's child's pose, maybe it's stillness, or if you'd like to open up the backs of your legs a bit more, bending one knee and straightening the opposite. Just paddling out the feet and walking your dog. About one more big ujjayi here. Maybe meeting us back if you're ready and had taken a child's pose break. All right, pressing back into our heels. We're going to do that plank play once again with a little something added. Know that you can always have the knees down or make any modifications you'd like. Inhale, come into high plank. This time doing our full shoulder taps. Right to left, down controlled, left to right. 2 more rounds. Trying to keep our hips squared towards the mat and as still as possible. Beautiful. As you finish, take a big inhale. Exhale, back down dog. Big breath here in between. Nice. This next one's a little bit different as well. Inhale, come into high plank. And from there, we'll come onto our forearms. Really, really slow and controlled. Left forearm down, right forearm down. Take a breath. Inhale, left palm up, right palm up. Take a breath. Big inhale. Exhale, back down dog. This last one is simply with a chaturanga if that feels good. Inhale to high plank. Maybe you take the knees down. Exhale, take the chest forward slightly, bending into the elbows, not letting them suppress the torso, and then press it up to cobra, upward facing dog. Gaze over to your left, shake your head, yes. Release the glutes. To the right, yes. Back to center, big no, take an inhale. Exhale, right back to downward facing dog. Inhale, high to your toes. Exhale, bend the knees and gaze forward slightly. Step or float to meet your hands at the front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bring a soft smile to the face. We'll transition back to standing. Inhale, hands out towards the sides, reaching all the way up, reverse swan dive. And then exhale your hands to heart center. Congratulations, you just did a super hard Surya Namaskar A. We're going to do one more that's a little bit more chill. All right, still at the front of our mat. Let's take a big inhale. Let go of a little bit of that heat. A little shake, because why not? Big smile to the face. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold, Uttanasana, gazing at the belly button. Then inhale, right back up halfway. Exhale, palms down, gaze forward. Maybe this time you hop back to plank. Big inhale. Sigh it out. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Big sigh. Last one's ujjayi. Inhale. This time we chaturanga. Elbows coming back, squeezing in, then pressing it up as you inhale. Exhale, back, down dog. Alrighty. As always, the option for child's pose is there for you if you'd like it. Otherwise, maybe it's stillness or you're still paddling out the feet. Our final option, if you know you're dehydrated, maybe just don't go for it. But if you'd like to give it a go, don't press yourself too far. We're going to start by really pressing our left hand into the mat as firmly as we can, almost pressing it away from us. From there, keeping the core engaged in the hips level, you're going to take your right hand anywhere except the outside of the knee on the outside of your left leg. Take your gaze from right beneath you to underneath the left armpit. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gently twist. Let's take one more breath, feeling the strength of that left wrist and your core. Beautiful. Right hand down. Take a breath. Feeling the difference between the two sides, if there is one. And then beginning to press the right hand really firmly into the mat. Nice. All right. Lifting the left hand slightly and taking it anywhere, aside from the knee, on the outside of your right leg this time. Gaze is under the right armpit. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gently twist. One more big breath, remembering your ujjayi. Awesome. Left hand meets right. And if you're in child's pose or any other sort of variation your body was calling for, let's just meet back at neutral. Nice. Okay. So, inhale high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees and gaze forward slightly. Step or float to meet your front. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan brings you all the way up, and take all the time you need. Reaching tall, 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 and then taking all that energy right back to your heart center. Big inhale, big sigh to match. From our Surya Namaskar A's, we're going to move into our Surya Namaskar B's. Sun salutation, peace. So, again, it is a preference type of thing, but for females particularly, you are supposed to, in quotes, have your feet right on your hips. Otherwise, feel free to have them together, which is my personal preference. We're meeting into Utkatasana chair. So, bend your knees, sweep the earth, inhale, reach your arms up. Gaze down, give your toes a little wiggle. Make sure you can still see them. If you're having some trouble, set those hips back just a little bit further. Feeling light through the toes, pressing your chest up against a wall and turning your pinkies in because it's a bit fancier that way. Big inhale through the belly. Exhale, sit just a little bit lower. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, sit just a little bit lower. 1 more time. Inhale. Sitting just a little bit lower. Keeping the whole foot aside from the toes on the mat for 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, reaching the arms up and forward. And then as you exhale, forward fold, straightening through the legs, gaze to the belly button. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, palms down. Step or float, high plank. We have an option for 1, 2, 3 chaturangas. Big inhale. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale, press up. Maybe you do 1 more or no more. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale, press up. Know how strong you are. Last one, maybe, if that feels good. Inhale, chaturanga down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, back down dog. Alrighty, so this is where we do our warrior sequence. As you meet with your next inhale, reach your right leg all the way up, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee and open your hip. Shoulders remain as level as you can keep them, and your right knee faces out towards the right. Option to stay here. Otherwise, gaze under the left armpit and try to find that heel. Squeeze that heel against the glute, nice and tight for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, right leg reaches all the way up, hips are level now. Exhale, right leg down halfway, flexing the foot against the back wall. Gaze forward slightly, and then step your right foot front. Make sure that your feet have some space in between them and that they're not on one line. We're going to take 3 breaths here in our high lunge position. Option 1 is to keep the finger pads down to the mat, shoulders reaching back. Option 2, however, is to bring the hands to the thigh, tailbone reaching down and back. Final option is to reach the arms up. At this point, we have maybe a breath and a half left. Make what you can of it. Big inhale, reaching the arms up if they're there. And then, if the hands are not already down on the ground, take them back down. Now we meet in our warrior 1 position. So, as opposed to a high lunge, your left heel is going to come down at about a 45-degree angle, though your hips are still squared towards the front. Brace your core. Inhale, reaches the arms up. Hands to the hips. Straighten your right leg. Make sure your feet are on 2 separate railroad tracks. Hips square towards the front, and you're feeling good about it. Confidence is there. Bend the right knee over the right ankle, making sure you can still see the big toe, and then reach your arms up. Option 1, stay here, traditional. Option 2, however, if you'd like a little bit of a break, is to take your hands, clasping them together, taking them to the back of the head, and then just kind of lounge in there. We're here for 3. Maintaining the bend in the front knee. 2. Really reaching those elbows back and getting a stretch through the arms if you're in option 2. Final breath, maybe it's a sigh, inhale, out through the mouth. For those of us whose hands are already clasped, you're going to keep all of them clasped except the index. For those of us with our hands above our heads, hands clasped except the index, as I just said. Big inhale. Exhale, we're going to reach forward until the chest becomes parallel with the mat. Maybe your chest is glued to the right thigh. Either way, the left heel stays down. See if you can reach just a little bit further without lifting that back heel. Take a nice big breath. Brace your core. Inhale, brings you all the way back up. Take the hands down, give your shoulders a little shake. Then clasp your hands beneath the tush and pull them down. We have 2 options here. If you'd like to open up your heart, lift your chin slightly. If you'd like to strengthen your upper back, tuck the chin to the chest. Know that you can always do the opposite on the other side, so no worries if you're indecisive like me. 1 more big breath. Beautiful. Release the clasped hands, maybe a little shoulder shake if that feels good, and then reach the arms up. From there we meet in Warrior 2. Right hand comes forward, left hand reaches back. Feels weird, right? Let's go ahead and turn our hips towards the left side of our room. Hands to the hips, straighten your right leg. Gaze down at your feet. Make sure your right heel is in line with your left arch. Hips are level. Take your arms up to a nice strong T. Imagine me pressing your hands down, but you're not letting me. Let's crunch our shoulders up to the ears. Take a nice big inhale. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Sigh out and release. Bend the right knee over the right ankle, making sure you can still see your big toe, and then the gaze comes over the right middle finger. We're here for 2. 1 more big breath. Good. Let's go ahead and pump it out. So as you inhale, straighten your right leg, reach your arms up, and if you'd like a little bit more, flex into the right foot. Exhale, bring everything back, Warrior 2. 2 more of those. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. Last 1. Inhale, reach up, feeling the cool air on your skin. Exhale, back down. Okay, so a little bit weird, but step your right foot 1 step out to the right. Take your right hand to your right thigh, left hand to your right thigh. Turn high on your left toes. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, reach the arms up. Just 1 big breath here. And then we all meet with the hands on either side of the right foot. Plant the palms, gaze forward slightly, and shoot that right foot back. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Or maybe a little push-up action in there too. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, back down dog. Nice big breath. Maybe it's a sigh if you'd like to let go of some heat. Inhale. Let go. Feeling that difference between the 2 sides and acknowledging for what it is. Alrighty. Next inhale, sweeps your left leg all the way up. Beautiful. Option 1, 3-legged dog. Option 2, bend your left knee and open the hip. Try to keep your shoulders level here as you turn your left knee out to the left. Final option, take the gaze underneath the right armpit and squeeze that left heel against the right glute as tight as you can as you find that heel. Take a breath. So good. Inhale all the way up to 3-legged dog. Then we take it halfway down, flexing the foot against the back wall. Feeling strong, take the gaze out in front of you. Gently step your left foot forward. Left knee stacked over left ankle, back leg super duper strong. Your heel is stacked right over the toes. Take your left foot 1 step out to the left. Option Option 1, stay here. Option 2, hands to thigh, tailbone reaching down and back. Final option, reach the arms all the way up. We're here for 2. One more big one, make it count. If your arms are already above the head, inhale, reach up tall. And we all exhale the hands to frame the left foot. You're going to turn your right heel in at about a 45-degree angle. Feet have space between them. Maintaining the bend in the left knee, brace your core. Inhale, reach all the way up. Hands to hips, straighten your left leg, adjust as needed, making sure your hips are squared, your feet are on those 2 separate railroad tracks, and you're feeling good about what you're doing. Little smile to the face, never hurts. Bring the left ankle underneath that knee, so bending into the knee, and then reach the arms up once you're ready. Take a moment here, or if you did so on the other side and like to do it again, clasp the hands behind the head and lounge, taking a few breaths. Alrighty, last one. Let's clasp all the fingers except the index, regardless of where you are. Reaching the arms up like you have a little sword above the head. Big inhale. Exhale, start to reach forward. Chest glued to the left thigh. Maintaining the bend in the left knee. Feeling strong as you reach the right heel back and down. Rooting it there firmly. Feeling as though the feet are pressing away from one another. Take one more breath. As you exhale, really brace the core. And then your inhale pulls you up. Release the hands, a little shake, a little bounce. And then clasp the hands beneath the tush, pulling them down. Maybe you do the opposite option of whatever you did before. Either tucking the chin to the chest to strengthen the upper back, or lifting the chin slightly and creating a shelf with the chest to open up your heart. Take a couple breaths. That as you're ready, a little shake and a bounce if that felt good. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Left hand forward, right hand back. Feels weird, so let's adjust the feet so that they're perpendicular. Straighten the left leg, hands to the hips. Everything is level. We're feeling good about our posture, and we're moving into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Arms up, nice strong T here. Let's crunch once again. Take a big breath in through the belly. Even more air if you can. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Sigh it out, let go. Stronger than ever. Bend your left knee over the left ankle. And whoa, we're in Warrior 2. Take that gaze over the left middle finger and just enjoy a breath here. Feeling as though the feet are pressing away from one another. And once you're ready, we'll pump it out. Inhale, straighten the left leg, maybe flexing into the foot as you reach the arms up. Then exhale, float it right back down. Cooling the body just a bit. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. Last one, make it count. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. Okay, once again, a little bit weird, but take your left foot one step out to the left. Left hand, left thigh. Right hand, left thigh. Turn high on your right toes. Whoa, we are all of a sudden in a high lunge. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, reach those arms up. One big breath. If your arms are already up, inhale, reach tall. Exhale, we all meet with the hands on either side of the left foot. Make sure the palms are planted. Gaze is slightly out in front of you. You step that left foot back to a high plank. We're chilling here for a moment. Feel free to take the knees down. We've got a challenge. Right to left, shoulder tap. Left to right. 2 more rounds. Take your time. Okay. Big inhale. Exhale, sigh. Now we're taking it to the forearms. Left forearm down. Right forearm down. Take a breath. Sigh it out. Inhale, left up. Inhale, right up. Take a breath. Sigh it out. One more time of that. Left down, right down. Little bit different. Take your feet together and then drop your left hip. Come high. Drop your right hip. Come high. 2 more on each side. More than halfway there. Last little one. Woo, you are still breathing. Beautiful. Okay, left up, right up. Take a breath. Side out. I am going to take my knees down. Maybe you join me or maybe you don't. Inhale, chest forward slightly. Exhale, elbows back, chaturanga, tops of feet down. Press up to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, take the chest back down. Scoot your hips back so that your face is not on tile or carpet or whatever. Stack one hand on top of the other. I'm doing left on top of right. And then turn your right temple down. Close your eyes. Catch your breath if you had lost it. Personally, I really love a little tushy wiggle here. Feels really good for me, but you don't have to do it. Bring that to a pause. Big inhale. Sigh out through the mouth. If you were like me and had your left hand on top first, go ahead and switch it. And then you're going to take your left temple down. Little butt wiggle if that feels good. Otherwise, just enjoying the stillness, allowing your skin to cool and your breath to catch up. Feeling the difference between our big movements and our little movements, and then our stillness. And then allowing yourself to come back to your intention for a moment. Acknowledging how far you've come already, and being proud of yourself for even showing up, because that's arguably the hardest part. Okay. If you thought we were over with the challenges, you are wrong. Okay, you are more than welcome to skip it and just meet us in child's pose. Otherwise, we have a little reverse chaturanga action that is coming up, just so that you can mentally prepare yourself and smile through it, because that is always helpful. Okay, to get prepared, we're going to take our hands right beside our pecs, so slightly behind our armpits. And then you don't want your elbows flapping like a bird. You really want them squeezing in nice and tight. Tuck your toes. Smile. And then your inhale, you press up. Beautiful. So, take your knees down. That's all we were doing. Big toes touch, knees about the width of the mat. Set that tailbone down and back, then reach your arms forward for Balasana Child's Pose. We have a little bit of a twisting action coming, and even though it might feel like you're not doing all that much, please be sure that your core is engaged the whole time. In doing so, you're not only strengthening the core, but you are also protecting your spine. Of course, option one is to always just chill in Child's Pose if that's what you need/want. Okay, so this is a variation of thread the needle. It is very similar, except our hips are reaching back towards our heels instead. Reach your left arm a little bit further forward than the right, and then your right arm tucks underneath the left. In doing so, you find that your right ear and right shoulder touch down to the mat, and your gaze comes to the left side of your room. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Just one more breath here. Beautiful. Keeping the core engaged, you're going to continue pressing really firmly with the left palm so that the right hand meets the left. Scoot your left hand back slightly, reaching that right arm forward. You're going to thread the left arm underneath the right this time, taking your left ear and left shoulder down to the mat. In doing so, you might find that your tailbone pops up from the heels quite a bit. That is totally fine. I am right there with you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Pressing that mat away from you with the right hand. We'll take one more. Beautiful. Keeping that right hand firm and the core engaged. Left hand meets right. Nice. We're going to come up to tabletop position. Hands under shoulders. Knees under hips. A little tail wag. A little toe tap. A little shoulder shake. A little head shake. Big inhale. Sigh out through the mouth. Bringing all that movement back to a pause. Okay. Hands come half a print forwards. Tuck your toes. And slightly lift your bent knees. Big inhale. Exhale all the way back to down dog. We're going to go ahead and finish up that Surya Namaskar B with a little Utkatasana chair pose action. And then we'll move into a core segment before our final cool down. Big inhale. Exhale back into your heels. Inhale high to the toes, still pressing that chest back. Exhale, bend into the knees, gaze forward. Step or float to meet your front. Okay, situate your feet in whichever way that you like your chair, whether it be feet 2 fists apart or together. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. From our Uttanasana, we move back into Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sweep the earth. Inhale, reach your arms up. This next one can be quite challenging, so take it at your pace. Big inhale. Exhale, reach the elbows back. Cactus arms, opening your heart. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull it back. One more of those. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull it back. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale. Exhale, sink. Usually, literally using your hands to press your tush back. Inhale. Exhale, sitting even more, pressing that tush back. One more, inhale. Exhale, sit. Okay, so from here, we're going to lift nice and high onto our toes. I am on carpet, so this is very hard. Hover for 3, 2, 1. Sink just a little bit more. 3, 2, 1. Just a little bit more. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, sink all the way down. Take your hands down. I like to have one out in front of me to keep me stable, and then I wrap the other arm around my knees, so I become a nice little ball. From there, takes quite a bit of balance, but maybe tuck the chin to the chest. You're trying to lift as high onto your toes as possible here. You should feel it all throughout your calves. Big inhale, sigh it out. If you took this huggy option, maybe switch arms, whichever you used. And we'll take one more sigh there. Inhale, let it go. Okay, so we're about to have so much fun. Take both of your hands down and then your knees on the outsides of your arms. Hop your feet out so that the arches of your feet are on the edges of your mat. Sit down. Your elbows are on the insides of your knees. Your hands are at heart center, and you're using your elbows to press the knees out as you sit down. I don't like this pose. However, I practice it every day because I feel like it does something for me. It's really easy to try to fall in on the inside edges of the feet, so try to mindfully bring your weight to the outside edges instead. Okay, option to keep your hands at heart center because it really does help. Otherwise, reach your arms out in front of you. Big inhale. Exhale, sigh. Maintaining the weight on the outside edges of the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. Sigh it out. Arms out to your sides without hitting things. Inhale, sigh it out. Finger pads back behind you. Pop a squat. Okay, come back onto your forearms. Feet together. Take a little windshield wiper. Meeting back with your breath if you had lost it. And just chilling for a second. Okay, bringing that to a pause, we're going to press ourselves back up. And in doing so, try to scoot your hips a little closer to your heels. Wrap your hands around your shins. Maybe your whole arms around your shins. And then try to really reach up through your chest. Rolling the shoulders back. Option to stay here or take the forehead to the knees. Giving yourself a little bit of self-love, admiration, respect, support. Just knowing that you see yourself as what you are. You are seen, you are cared for, you are loved, you are appreciated, and you are respected. Take a nice big inhale. Sigh out all the gunk. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Sigh out all the bad feelings. Last one, biggest one, it's for you. Inhale. Hold. Take in even more air if you can. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay, keeping your chest really close towards your thighs. Begin to reach your arms forward, palms facing up to receive. Tuck your chin to your chest. Big inhale. Exhale, take just a little bit of your back down. Continuing that process with each singular vertebra. Moving as fast or as slow as you'd like. Knowing that squeezing the knees and breathing is incredibly helpful. Until eventually the back of the head touches down towards the mat. From From there, we take legs up on the wall pose. So you can either have your arms out in a T position with the palms facing up, or you can have your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. Go ahead and shoot those legs right up to the sky, flexing into the feet the best you can, because your legs are on a literal, figurative wall. We're just going to hang here for a moment, keeping some engagement in the quads, but relaxing the rest of the body. Okay, so option one is just to chill here, or whichever pose feels most comfortable for you. Option two is just one last little round of core. To do so, you're going to reach your arms up, and as you inhale, you try to reach up towards one foot. We're going to start with the left. So reach up to the left, back down, up to the right, back down, trying to maintain that flex in the feet so that you stretch out the backs of your legs, which tend to be some rather pesky muscles. Continuing to breathe here. If you get sick of flexing your feet, feel free to point them instead, acknowledging the difference there. And if you don't like it, maybe you just let your feet relax. We've got just a little bit longer here, maintaining your breath, and maybe you start to reach a little bit further out towards the sides, away from the feet. Now getting just a little bit of twisting action in, and maybe using muscles that you don't typically use. For 3, 2, 1. All right. Settle your feet down, and maybe you take a little bit of a windmill again. Or rather, the windshield wipers. All these silly names that we come up with, and assign meaning to. It's kind of interesting to think about. All right. So, option one, some people really prefer it. Left hand to heart, right hand to belly, with the knees facing up to the sky. However, option two is Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose. To get there, you take the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to splay out. Finding comfort and discomfort here, and maybe shutting the eyes if you're okay with that. Letting go of any technique with the breath, and just allowing yourself to be right here, right now, within the present moment. Still maintaining a bit of depth with the breath, feeling the belly rise and fall. So to meet in Shavasana, option one is just to stay here if this is a pose of immense comfort for you and you'd like to stay here. Otherwise, we have a little bit of a tension and relaxation technique that I came up with before we get into Shavasana to make it all the much sweeter. We start with the face. Please don't grind your teeth here, but we're going to start by really shutting the eyes as tight as they go, pursing the lips, making everything nice and tight in the face. Take an inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Feeling the face soften. From there, we create a fist with the left hand, feeling it first through the forearm, maybe into the bicep, the tricep, the shoulder, the upper back. Take an inhale. Exhale, release all of that tension, turning the left palm up beside the hip. Right fist, nice and tight all throughout the arm, the upper back, tight, tight, tight. Take an inhale. Exhale, open it up to the side, palms facing up to receive here. Now we move into the left leg. So crunching through the toes. Personally, I first feel it in the hamstring, then through the glute, bringing it into the calf, trying to radiate it out into whatever space it isn't already there. Take an inhale. Exhale, release all of that tension, straightening through the left leg. We've got a little bit of a figure 4 going for us now. So let's go ahead and work on that last limb. Crunching through the toes, getting it through the hamstring, the glute, the calf, all of it. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, release that tension as you straighten through the leg. Taking any final adjustments you may need. If you see me moving on the screen, I am simply sitting up, but stay where you are. Alrighty. So closing the eyes if they aren't already, and if you feel comfortable with that. Once again, feeling the face soften. Each Individual hair falls right into the place it's destined to be. The forehead is almost ironed out. No more wrinkles, no more stress. The eyes become a little bit deeper, almost as if they're swimming pools, reaching to the very back of your head and just floating. Nothing to it. The tongue comes away from the roof of the mouth, away from the backs of the teeth, and sits in its own little bed. Maybe the lips creep into a very, very slight smile, all the while just relaxing, right here, right now. Bringing your intention, your sankalpa, whatever it may have been, into your frame of mind, your frame of reference, your kind mind's eye. Allowing that to encapsulate you. Knowing that you've come so far within this mere hour. Maybe taking a slight swallow to open up your throat chakra, getting rid of all of that staleness. Feeling your shoulders surrender into the mat as your arms release and lengthen. Feeling a balance between lightness and heaviness here. Feeling as though you're sinking right into the mat, past the floor beneath you, and down to whatever is next. But also feeling the skin lift a centimeter, then a full inch, maybe a foot off of the skin. Imagining yourself sitting right at your feet, gazing over you and seeing you exactly as you are, rather than whatever you want to be or whatever you think you are. Simply the truth of what it is. Your chest opens, your core relaxes, and then just as your arms did, your legs release and lengthen, allowing the feet to splay out and just settling into this space for all that it is, all that it isn't, and all that it ever will be. Just a closing thought. I'd like for each of you to repeat in your kind mind's eye. May I be happy. May I be well. May I live with ease. Bringing that outside of you. May everyone in this class be happy. May everyone in this class be well. May everyone in this class live with ease. You can radiate that out into your friends, your family, whoever it may be, but know that whatever energy you send out eventually comes back to you. So just try to keep it kind. Let's take the biggest inhale we've ever taken in our whole life, bringing it into the belly first, pressing it out with that air and holding it for 3, 2, taking in even more air if you can, and 1. Sigh it out like you mean it. Ha! Making some noise. Let's do another one. Inhale. Sigh it out. Last one, big one as well. Inhale. Let that go. Settling into the space, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, rolling out the wrists and the ankles in both directions until eventually you send the arms back behind the head for a nice good morning stretch. Feeling it all the way from the fingertips down to the toe tips. And once you're ready, keeping the back of the head heavy on the mat, just hugging your knees into the chest and taking a little side to side, giving your back a well-deserved massage. Once again, bringing that beautiful smile to the face, nice and soft, until eventually you make it over to whichever side is more comfortable for you, whether it be left or right. Do what feels best. Creating a little pillow with the palm, making sure that you are comfortable in these final moments. And once again, repeating, may I be happy, may I be well, may I live with ease. Keeping the eyes closed, the body sleepy, yet aware at the same time. You're going to use a hand to support you as you press yourself back up to Sukhasana, right where we began the practice. Mindful, crisscross applesauce. So we are often creatures of habit, samskaras. So maybe just acknowledging which foot ends up in front and then switching it. Knowing that that might feel weird, but it's good for your brain to switch things up sometimes. Let's root down through our tailbone, lift up through our sternum, rolling the shoulders down and back with a slight tuck to the chin. Either having the palms facing up to receive, or if it resonates with you, bring the palms to heart center, your Anahata heart chakra, Anjali. Elbows flaring out. I hope that each and every one of you know that the divine light in me honors, loves, and respects the divine light in each of you. Namaste.